Good afternoon, class. My name is Specialist Iglesias, and I want to start off today with saying that we have all been impacted by this ongoing global pandemic throughout the past year, some way or another. So today's brief is going to be on that global pandemic, COVID-19. Today's classification of this brief is unclassified. All right, so let's start off with our risk assessment. Today's overall risk assessment is low. In case of any slipping or tripping hazards, remember that you can take them away from the floor, anything like that, anything you might trip or slip. Also, in case of an active shooter, remember we use the method run, hide, fight. In case of a fire, run the opposite direction and find your nearest exit. Alrighty, so the purpose of today's brief is to inform you guys of COVID-19, of the ongoing global pandemic, as well as how it has affected our military and the world. I'm also going to talk to you guys about how COVID-19 has affected our economy. Alright, so what is COVID-19? So COVID-19 is a virus that actually originated from China. China's first COVID-19 can actually be traced back to about November of 2019. So this virus can actually attack your respiratory, your circulatory, nervous, and digestive system as well. Alright, so how does it affect your respiratory system? So it all starts off in your mouth, your nose, your throat. So symptoms can come up to, like, let's say fever, strep throat, runny nose, stuff like that, right? Flu-like symptoms. For most people, in some cases, that's the end of how the virus affects them. But however, in other cases, if they're more severe, the virus can actually start spreading over to your lungs. If that happens, your lungs actually start producing this fluid inside of them, which causes them to start filling up with the fluid and prevents from your lungs actually start producing oxygen. And if this happens, your body starts going into this called pneumonia, which in some cases can actually lead to death. Now, how does it affect our circulatory system? Okay, so if COVID-19 starts affecting your circulatory system, it starts making your blood actually start to thicken and create blood clots. So if a lot of blood clots start forming in your vessels, so that's when it can start leading to heart attacks, strokes, or even in some cases, loss of limbs. Okay, so how does it affect our nervous system? So it can affect our nervous system by, let's say, blood clot starts forming in your head and it bursts. So all this blood just creating that pressure in your head can actually lead to a stroke and lead to for you to impair speech, movement, and thinking, depending on the location of the severity of the stroke, right? So research has not yet proven this, but they think that your loss of smell and taste actually comes from COVID-19 affecting this certain part of your brain. So now, how does it affect your digestive system? So symptoms like nausea, vomiting, diarrhea are not too common diagnosed with patients of COVID-19, but however, doctors have actually started seeing that on COVID-19 patients, they have seen some damage to their liver and pancreas. So this has become a more common thing. So they started believing that it affects your digestive system as well. So now moving on to how it affects the Army. So COVID-19 has actually really affected the readiness of soldiers in the military, as well as their operations. So let's just take for example this BLC class, right? So it was supposed to be an on-person class. Unfortunately, it got switched over to virtual. There's a lot of activities and training that we're missing out on. I'm sorry, that would have gave us many skills, or even the opportunity to use their skills as future leaders that we could definitely use going back to our units. Also, another great example would be the outbreak that we had on the U.S. Theodore Roosevelt, which is a naval aircraft. A naval aircraft carrier, I'm sorry. So, COVID-19 affected about 1,000 sailors that were on that ship of the 5,000 members that were on there. So, this actually caused this aircraft carrier to be out of any type of operation for about 55 days. All those 5,000 members on that ship had to be quarantined on that ship for 55 days. So just think about 5,000 soldiers taken away from an operation from one day to another. What do you think that's gonna cause? So it's definitely affecting our military operations. So how has COVID-19 affected our daily lives? So I'm pretty sure we have all seen it now. Everywhere we go, we have to be using this face mask now. Also, it has really become a stressful situation for many people to do simple activities such as, let's say, going to work, going to school, going grocery shopping, or even taking a walk in the park, taking your kids out to play. It has really become a stressful situation because now you're out here having to worry about getting infected or coming close to anybody with COVID-19 that you don't know, anything like that. So it has really become a stressful situation for them. Also, many people have had to put their lives on hold just to quarantine, just to be able to take care of their family members. So all of these things, let's say like students as well, having to do virtual classes, many don't have the ability to, let's say, their parents to get them a laptop or to provide Wi-Fi service. I mean, all these things have become difficult for many people. So how has COVID-19 affected our economy? So as you all know, many people lost their jobs during this pandemic, and the lucky ones actually got their hours reduced. Also, statistics have shown that since from January of 2020 to January of 2021, our unemployment rate went from 4% to 60%. Also, the United States issued out some stimulus checks. So these stimulus checks were sent out to help out Americans during this pandemic. So the estimated cost of this pandemic stimulus checks were about $3.5 trillion and still counting depending on our next stimulus check. So in summary, today I briefed you guys on what COVID-19 was, how it affected us as humans, as well as how it has impacted the world and our economy, as well as our military. So throughout this global pandemic, Americans have showed that we can prevail regardless of adversity. And united, we will continue to fight this pandemic one day at a time. I truly believe that one day, all this is going to end. And we will all be able to enjoy our families, go out, do all these activities without having to worry about getting infected with this COVID-19. So do you guys have any questions, comments, concerns at the time? So at this time, my brief is concluded. All I want to do is conduct an AAR. I need three sustainments and 3 things that I can improve on. Thank you.